Are the RoundHill weekly pay dividend ETFs actually worth holding? Well, we're going to find out. I bought every single one of them, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be making weekly video updates tracking their progress. We're going to find out which ones make the most money, which ones lose the most money, which ones have the best return, which ones have the highest dividends, plus so much more. On top of that, if you're new to the channel, I have another series where I track the other weekly dividend ETFs by Defiance, RoundHill, and YieldMax, and we're going to pit these against each other to find out which weekly payers are king. I'm really interested in seeing how these ones pay out. I bought them at a really tough time in the market, and you guys are going to see that reflected in the price return that we've seen so far. But we did get our first dividends, which I'm really excited about. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey. As always, if you guys enjoy investing content, specifically income ETFs, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like the video and to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's roll the intro. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was a bad week to start trading these and a bad month for RoundHill to release them for sure. The market has been in a free fall and we are seeing quite a correction. I think the S&P is down 7 or 8% at this point. Today was a great rebound day for my personal portfolio, but everything's still a little bit rough. We are up 5.85%, which is just under $26 in this account today, which really did save it because it was a bloodbath. We are still down a little over $30 because, again, it was a $500 investment initially. Now, we do have $75 in cash. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about reinvesting stuff. Do I want to, buy more TSW and COIW because they're more beaten down? Let me know what you guys think. I'm considering it. And I do like how these funds work. So let's do a little recap. These are not like 0 DTE. These are not similar to the YieldMax weekly pairs because it's basically a leveraged play. So normally you get like 1.2% return based off of what that stock traded for that week. Now, what I'm interested in is how do these do in a down week, which we've kind of seen. The distributions were still paid out, but how are they paying out distributions if the stock was negative? Because you'd think, well, if they're paying out when the stock does well, are they taking my money away? And it looks like they are in a sense, but is this going to be just a never-ending pitfall of NAV erosion and these funds dropping? Although I guess you can't even deem it NAV erosion because that's not how these are trading. It's investing in one specific stock, which is definitely higher risk, but if you like that underlying stock and you can get a better return, it might be something to look at. So let's start out with our first weekly pay ETF, ticker AAPW. I've definitely been late with my uploads lately. I was ill this week and it really sucked. And so this is my first day where I'm actually feeling almost 100%. And if you guys remember anything, that first day back after being sick for a couple days, oh man, I am on cloud 9. And so I want to jump on here, and I'm super excited about this video. It is really the first full breakdown we've seen on these on the channel. So we can see that AAPW is down 12.89%. Really tough. We have an average cost of $49.20, and currently it's trading for $42.86. It's a bummer. It's been kind of in not pure free fall. We've had some decent days, and we have had 2 distributions. We have a low AUM of 1.23 million. I'm pretty sure that's relatively up to date. And then we have a dividend yield, which is not factoring in yet. And the dividend yield, I'm interested in how this works because this is not the normal type of dividend. These new ETFs, it's so interesting to me how they're creating more and more of these, and they all do things vastly differently, which is cool. It's really interesting to find, and that's the whole point of these different series, is to pit them against each other and say which ones are actually making people the most money, the best returns, and thus here you are. You guys are watching this because you're interested in these. But again, we've seen it drop. It's dropped $10 since the high on launch, which was only weeks ago. So our buy point was right here, and boom, it's fallen. I like Apple in the long run. It's not a stock that I typically invest in, and I'll tell you why. In my head, it's more of a safe play. And I'm not necessarily a safe investor. I wouldn't say I'm extremely high risk, but, Tesla is kind of more my style. Maybe Amazon, stuff that has more growth potential. I'm not bashing Apple as a company. I just don't think it's going to do what NVIDIA has done or what Tesla has done. And Tesla, again, is all over the map. But that's kind of how I like to play it. So if you're interested in Apple and you think Apple will do well in the next decade, I don't see why you wouldn't be interested in this fund, especially with the ability to reinvest the dividends. I'm planning on doing this challenge indefinitely. I don't have an end date set, as long as you guys enjoy it and keep watching. But if you're going to invest in Apple anyway, and you're really secure in your investment in it, and it's been a safe play for you, this just might be something you're interested in. Reinvest those dividends, have drip on. I'm going to be dripping as much as I can in with these funds. I'm going to try and work it out. Mumu can do drip on some funds, but not all of them. So I'm going to work that out. Now, I want your opinions too on if you think I should have drip going, if I should not have drip going. Let me know down in the comments. But we can see the first 2 distributions ever from this fund. It's funny, I call them dividends. I guess they really are distributions because they're not dividends. We had 24 cents and then we had 20 cents. So it dropped, the price dropped, and it's going to be interesting seeing what this next one is. That was paid out March 10. So very interesting. Apple is a stock that, again, I'm not against. I'm pro. I don't own it myself, but it might be one to look at if it's a safer play and still performs really well. Next, we have COIW, the RoundHill Coinbase fund, which has been absolutely falling like mad. If you guys are not familiar with crypto, they say we're in the crypto winter, and I believe it. And when crypto does poorly, Coinbase does poorly, and thus COIW does poorly. We can see we have an average cost of $38.59 and a current price of $31.79. We're down 17.62%. This might be one that I would put more money in now. I was surprised. Even when I bought in, it had already fallen pretty heavily, down $12. Pretty wild. And now we're down to 31 when it initially launched at around 50. Wow. Really tough time for this one. We have an AUM of 900,000. Really, really low, but the dividend yield's a bit higher so far because, again, only 2 dividends, but that means these are probably paying out pretty nicely. We have the first 2 dividends, we have 31 cents and we have 34.5 cents. So interesting how with Apple, it paid less when it dropped, and with COIW, it paid more dropping. Really, really, I'm kind of surprised by that. I figured they'd all be relatively similar, but maybe not. Maybe we'll see some pull ahead quickly and some lag behind even faster, unfortunately. I like Coinbase in the long run. It's not one of my top buys. I think I bought a share on launch and then it tanked, and then I held it all the way till I got all my money back and then I sold. But again, I think it is cool. If you guys aren't familiar with Coinbase, it's like I think it's the only publicly traded crypto stock brokerage, crypto brokerage, meaning it's like I know that there's a couple others that you can trade it on. I guess Robinhood now too, but Coinbase is specific to crypto. It's not stocks. So interesting. Not a bad idea. It's very popular. I do use the platform myself, and I do like it. They're changing a lot of things up right now, but maybe now's the time to buy some crypto. And if this thing keeps dropping, if crypto keeps dropping, then maybe Coinbase, maybe this one will be harder to hold during that time. But again, you're going to see it here first. So only high hopes for Coinbase stock, but so far it's been really rough. Let's jump into our next pick. Our only green in this account full of red is ticker NVW, the RoundHill NVDA fund. Now, average cost of $39.20, and we can see a current price of $41.60. So we are up, and we've been paid a dividend, and DRIP is not on yet, so we are not even factoring that in, but we will see that at the end when I pull everything up in our dividend tracking spreadsheet, which is key for these challenges. Really interesting. This thing definitely dropped pretty heavily, and let's see. Yeah, we had a buy and a sell. Oh, this is what happened. I bought it in one account, and it popped up in the other account, so I had to convert it to a different account, so that's why it looks a little different. But all in all, pretty good. Not too bad. We are still green, and no complaints. Definitely no complaints. We have AUM of 2.74 million, larger than the other two so far, which is good. Definitely good. I know 1.5% dividend yield. We have 37.5 cents paid out and 26 cents. So again, kind of funny. Maybe the next dividend, if this next dividend is huge, we'll see that it going up really does make quite a difference. But all in all, it still paid out a little bit less after dropping. So more similar to Apple than Coinbase. Not bad. Now, what do I think about NVIDIA long term? You guys know I'm a big fan of NVIDIA. I missed the run on this one because I don't typically invest in a lot of just single stocks. I like ETFs. I like income investing. But I mean, now if it runs again, we have some skin in the game for sure. Definitely for sure. And on our smaller channel, for those that are interested, I put NVIDIA in our 10 stocks for 2025 account, and I don't even remember how it's doing. It's probably beaten down now. It was doing really well before this last couple weeks in the market. So if you're interested, that account will be linked down below. You can go check it out. But all in all, NVIDIA, not a bad pick in my opinion. I'm curious to see what it does in 2025. Let's get into our next pick. Barely negative. We have PLTW. It's the RoundHill PLTR weekly pay, which we bought it at $32.32. It's currently $32.28. So we're down what? We bought 3 shares. It was cheaper, and we're down 12 cents, 0.12%. I've really been getting more into Moomoo. I really do like the platform. I'll be honest. I don't trade on my Roth on Moomoo. I do it mostly for these challenges. But first of all, they have all of these ETFs that pop up almost immediately. I struggle to find another brokerage that has them this quickly. You know, I know Vanguard's slower, Fidelity's slower. I invest primarily with my Roth in Fidelity, and it's a lot slower. So I'm impressed by what Moomoo is doing. If you're interested, they're giving away a bunch of free bonuses and benefits. There's a link in the description. When you fund your account, you get a bunch of stuff like crazy. There was like an APY of like 8.1% on your uninvested cash, which is insane. Getting an 8% return on uninvested cash. With the AUM, PLTW is the largest. Wow, 3.46 million. I'm curious to see if these run into the same kind of size as the other weekly dividend ETFs that are in the multi-millions. Maybe not. We'll see. And dividend yield of 1.13% so far. We had our buy. It bounced around a little bit and just kind of sat. So no complaints there. We had an 18-cent dividend and a 17.76-cent dividend. So not bad. Relatively consistent dividends. This thing fell off a cliff, though. And the reasoning behind that is PLTR, the underlying stock, tanked. And I know it tanked because I owned some of it. And it was a tough week. It was a tough week market-wide. So if you guys are struggling, don't feel bad. We're all struggling. I had a green day today, but all my other days this week have been deep in the red. And so I'm going to climb out of a hole a little bit, maybe do some buying. Who knows? Who knows where we're going from here? But all in all, I like PLTR for the long run. It's one of my top picks for 2025 on my small account as well. And so can't really complain much. I'm hoping to see this one do really well, but again, the timing of the market and the timing that these were released was tough to watch. Lastly, but definitely not least, we have TSW, the RoundHill Tesla weekly paid dividend ETF. We have an average cost of $38.26 and a current price of $32.73. So we are down. We're down 14.45%. And now you guys, if you are familiar with my videos, you know that I love Tesla. I have been trading Tesla since like 2017, 2018. Not holding it since then, trading it since then. And so I liked it. I've made some good returns on it. I bounce around. When it runs, I sell. When it dips, I buy. And I did buy some more this last week, a couple of shares. And I'm building up a position now for when we see the next run, which I don't know when it'll be. Don't quote me on this. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do think it will happen eventually. But TSW is a different style of play. The way that I trade Tesla doesn't necessarily mean that the way that these weekly pay ETFs work, it doesn't really mesh well because I like to swing trade it. So you're kind of capped out on, well, I guess you could swing trade it. It's just a higher risk, higher leverage position, which I don't like to use leverage. If you guys know me, I'm very safe with my investments, although I consider myself medium to high risk on some things. But still, Tesla is a really interesting stock. And so I haven't decided if I'm going to try and swing this like I do with Tesla normally. Maybe we'll see what happens. But again, it is so beaten down 50% roughly. Now we're at 32. So 40%. It's been tough. It's been really tough. So we can see last couple dividends, or the first two dividends. I'm so used to saying last couple from the other video series. We had a near 40 cent, 39.5 cent, and 21.7 cents. So a really big drop from one dividend to the next. Very interesting how that works. But I'm so curious to see how this plays out, how Tesla does, how all of these do. And so what we're going to do now, we're going to jump into our dividend tracking spreadsheet that I had created for the channel, and it's going to show us all the details that we need to track all of these weekly dividend ETFs. Starting off on our weekly dividend log, I plugged everything in. We had AAPW with 40 cents. Remember what I showed you on Moomoo was the amount paid out per one share. And this is going to show us based off the number of shares we have, or as close to $100 as I could get. So AAPW paid out 40 cents, COIW paid out 69 cents, NVW paid out 53 cents, PLTW 53 cents, and TSW 43 cents. So Apple paid the lowest, and COIW, the Coinbase fund, paid the highest, which is interesting because they are all really beaten down. NVW paid out, has the best return. It's actually green compared to all the others, but kind of paid out somewhere in the middle. And now what I'm doing is we'll continue to update this all the way down. So as every week, what gets paid out will be uploaded. And then this spreadsheet will be available as well as the template, as well as the other weekly payers, as well as the YieldMax total return, as well as the YieldMax account. All of these spreadsheets are available for sale for those that either want to track the data themselves or want to use this for their own personal accounts. I had this created specifically because I wanted the weekly dividend log on here in the trackers, which really helps me keep everything organized. If you're not into tracking stuff, or if you buy it and forget it, probably not for you. Don't waste your money. But really, it's easy. It's on our channel for a tier 3 member for those of you that are interested. So really cool seeing this stuff already. I can't wait till we have like 10, 20, 30 dividends all paid out, and it shows us down the line. And then if we do end up having drip on, it's super fun to see how the dividends continue to grow, as well as we don't see as long as we don't see crazy NAV erosion, which the Defiance ETFs have seen. And so our money is dropped and the dividends have also dropped over on that account, which I'll link the most recent video for those of you that want to go check out that one. It's really interesting what's been going on. And there's so many weekly paying dividend ETFs now. So let's jump into our positions tab and see how everything is doing. So the way this works, it's very simple. You plug in your ticker, you put the number of shares and your average cost, and it auto-populates the rest and auto-updates. You do have to allow it to access. I think it accesses Seeking Alpha. But let's see what our total return is. Well, it's rough. The dividends have helped a little bit, so we compared this just to the Moomoo account. This is with the dividends paying out. So we can see total return for AAPW is negative 14%. For COIW, negative 17.74%. NVW is the only green. We are up 6.54%. Then we have PLTW, which is down 1.16%. And we have TSW down 15.67%. I really like how this works out. So we have our market return, which is just dollars, total return in dollars, market return in percentage, and total return in percentage. But remember, market return versus total return is different by the dividends. So these are the returns without paying dividends. These are the returns with paying dividends, according to Seeking Alpha's last bit of data. We can slide all the way over. We can see portfolio allocation, a ton of different stuff. Dividend growth rate, I haven't put that in yet because we definitely haven't seen a lot of dividends. And then we see the total dividends received, which right now is just going to copy what we saw on the weekly dividend tab. But in reality, in a couple of weeks, it'll show total return and show which one has been paying out the most in dividends, which will probably surprise you, like it has me with some of the other weekly payers, because there's some that just don't seem to do as well, but they pay out an insane amount in income. So if you're an income-focused investor only, can be really, really useful. And that's what I like. I like how it shows everything on here. But, I mean, it's only been, a week and a half of owning these. I'm curious how they are going to perform. And I'm guessing you guys are as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really only make these for you guys because I want to show you exactly what the returns are. It's very blatant. I'm investing with my own money. I probably should use paper trading, but I don't because I just think it's more fun to have some skin in the game. So I really appreciate you guys for watching and all the support I've gotten. You guys are absolutely amazing. We are doing a giveaway, which if you're interested, check out my channel for the full details. And there's a lot that goes into this stuff. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me through all of it. We're in a red market. It's been tough, but we're going strong and we're taking advantage of the time that we have been given. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, chances are you're going to like the videos that are popping up on your screen right now about other weekly payers, as well as some other content made on the channel, all for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.